Hey guys, Greg Prikowski reaching out to you. Today it's Monday afternoon, and it was a great weekend. You know, I'm sure that you had some good times on with your family. You had some good time to kind of sit and renew and kind of revisit and see what changes you want to make in your life. And, you know, as I was sitting down over the weekend and really looking at some of the challenges that I see a lot of the entrepreneurs and the couples, the individuals and teenagers are having today, really people in general, as I was talking to some folks on Sunday, we were sitting and talking, and a lot of them that people brought up to me were, Greg, what can we do to help solve the mechanics of our life? How do we improve the mechanics? And, you know, I was thinking about my son, and I see that, you know, my son is actually in basketball, and they're in practice, and Friday, you know, Corbin had brought up an example. He said, Dad, we're playing basketball now, we're practicing, and we're doing layups. And we're doing layups for 2 hours, the whole practice. And it was just, he couldn't figure out why they just kept doing them over and over and over and over again. And the coach wasn't really there, was just kind of out doing some other things and was not present watching them. And the kids were doing the same shot. They were doing the same steps. They were doing the same arm movements. They were missing the same amount of times. The ball was rolling in periodically in the same way. And, you know, as I think about that, the mechanics, they're out there doing layups for 2 hours, trying to figure out how they can get their shots better and how are they going to change their mechanics. Well, when the coach finally came out after them hours of playing and shooting those layups, the coach within just a couple shots could look at each player and see the mechanics of what needed to change. The way their legs were placed, the way their arms were placed, the amount of steps they were taking, how the ball was being released from their hands. It's all about the mechanics. And, you know, without having a coach or someone looking at the mechanics in our lives, how do we change? How do we make that change? And we were sitting as a group talking on Sunday, and I said, you know, guys, that's a valid question. How do we change mechanics in people's lives, or how do we change the mechanics in our own lives if we don't have somebody that's watching us and seeing where those mistakes are being made? You see, we're not making those mistakes intentionally. But as we sat as a group, we came up with one answer. And the answer was that the biggest challenge people have with changing the mechanics in their life on making things work correctly, productively, and accomplishing your goal is accepting help. Saying, listen, man, I can't do this alone. I've been trying to do this. I'm beating my head against the wall, and I just can't do this. You see, people largely don't want to ask for help, because when they do, they know that there's going to have to be change involved generally. And people think that they don't like change. Well, that's a confusing statement, because, you know, people do like change. Guys, think about it. You change your clothes, you change your cars, you change your shoes, you change the paint on the wall, you change the thing you eat, you change the places you go. See, you go through change whether you like it or not. But it's the change that you understand and that you understand the mechanics of through either having learned your whole life by yourself or having a coach come into your life and say, listen, here's what needs to change and why. See, because when you understand why you need to change, change is not hard to do. But you can't change the mechanics of the habits of our life, the things that we do daily, without having somebody taking a look at those and going, gosh, I can see what needs to change. So guys, I want to tell you, I just wanted to reach out for that right there. It's going to be a great week. We got big things planned ahead. I want you guys to always remember to keep the why out in front of you. And remember, comment below. You know, shoot it down there that, hey, Greg, talk about this topic. I'm concerned about this. But I wanted to reach out with you and know that you can change the mechanics in your life if you want to. And achieving your goals at breakneck speed is something that we help many people do. And always remember, if I can, you can. Have a great day.